So, when we last met our hero, Rory, he had sacked the citadel on Gatves cliff.
And we only lost 4 or 5 guys.
Yep.
And they were all expendable.
Yep. One to the traps of the dungeons, and the rest to insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We lost 5 expendables, and that just reminded me, we lost our mission objective.
Yes,
so
you did.
Cool.
Yep. So, without further ado, Rory is standing in the area of the citadel. It is burning, nice and hot and fiery. You have an incredible amount of loot that you have brought out from there.
Mm-hmm.
It is now, I'm going to say, late afternoon on the 26th. It's taken the better part of the day to do all of this.
Yep.
Not surprisingly. I'm going to say even it's the evening, I would say. Because you landed at about noon. So, it's evening time now. It would be pitch black because of the still decently heavy rain. It's calm. The skies are calming down. It's not nearly as windy as it was. But
it's definitely not pitch black.
You have the biggest bonfire anyone could imagine, with an entire 3-story tower burning very brightly in the night.
Speaking of which, that basically would count as the beacon.
Yes. Yes, if any of the soldiers are going to come at you, they would come at you now. You will notice that I have marked the ships in different shades on the map.
Yeah.
The yellow
Green
one...
is the one we came on. The
Yep.
yellow one is the neutral one that we haven't taken yet.
No, you did. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
the 5 are the 4 red ones are the pirates.
Exactly, and I'm just going to move these, because when you get back out, they're not going to be quite in the same position anymore. They will have maneuvered around, like thus, and like thus. So, they've moved.
Looks like they're heading for the port.
2 of them are, for sure.
Yeah.
In these waters, it is in fact possible to get close to the shoreline by now, apparently. So, yeah, what are you going to do next with your forces of occupation?
Well, going to send... I'm feeling like the Wolven and... Because we don't really need to take this area.
Which area?
I was indicating it with the moving pictures. I'm not sure if you can see them until they're moved.
Yeah, no.
But the south of the island, we don't need that.
No, there's nothing there. It's a peak, but there's nothing on it.
Yeah. Was our ship really damaged?
It was quite damaged, yes. It needs repairs, which is difficult to do in this weather. So you're kind of sort of stranded here, unless you take the merchant vessel, which isn't damaged at all.
Yeah, that was the plan. So, the mercenaries, I'm going to send them and myself to basically hold the port town while the Wolven, like the Volferbud, Auya's troops are going to go collect the wounded and whatnot that were left at the ship.
Right.
And the captain, if he wants to come, because his ship is smashed up. It's like there's pirates on the way. Like, I don't know. not there, so I can't do the diplomacy for them, but options I'm going to say are like bring everybody to the town so that we can fortify it.
Yeah, no, that sounds solid enough. Aoya has nothing against that plan. I mean, she's formally the leader of this whole expedition, and she will take your advice into consideration.
But yeah, so that's the plan.
Yep, alright. As I said, Aoya is formally the leader, the alpha of the expedition, and the way things are going down is that she's giving the orders. But you do your counsel, where she's talking to you because you are the person who hired the mercenaries, which means that you're the alpha for them, and the Dishonored, so she has to coordinate with you anyway, and she has nothing against that plan, and yeah, let's do it. So she'll go with her people down to the boat and get them to the village. You and the rest are getting ahead of them to the village, and when you get there, I am going to put out, there we go, some pirates. And why don't we make that? If you look at your token, you're going to see that there's going to be a number in the green sphere, which is how many you have in that particular unit.
Okay, cool.
Okay, I didn't mean to make it 3. It's just 2. There we go. There's quite a few of them. They're not the only strange people around here. I've already mentioned. Where did they go? The Purpurians. There's about 10 of them. Who are they do not have a weapon. It was just.
I was just like, why did you pick one with a knife? That's
really
troubling.
No, they don't have a. It was the only one that had a coat or something that looked vaguely purplish. That was my only criteria here. Yeah, the pirates you will find are pretty much firmly in control of the village, which isn't particularly hard because you know what it looks like. And they have the barracks of the soldiers have been sacked and they're burning.
Okay.
And the pirates are sounding the alarm when you and the mercenaries are approaching.
I want heavy infantry.
Yep. And they're quickly gathering around with their weapons.
Yeah.
And asking, one of them is stepping forward, asking, and that's going to be, in fact, your old lady friend from the garrison in Vumbra.
Oh.
And she's asking, who's in command here?
Like, at present, that would be me.
And you can tell that she doesn't look happy at all. I'm sorry, Rory. Has come down to this. I have the orders from the Commodore himself.
And what orders is that?
It's quite simple. We have assisted with the assault on Gatves Cliff by destroying the garrison. That was... And you could tell how she's kind of cringing a bit when she's speaking the words. That was threatening your rear. I mean, it's obvious that it wasn't.
Yeah, so that's why we took this place first and decided it wasn't worth taking.
Be that as it may, the Commodore's cut of the loot will be a quarter.
Who's this Commodore?
Are you asking her?
No, Logan's asking you.
Oh, I
Like,
don't
is this someone
know
I
if...
would know of?
I don't think you would. You don't keep track of politics in Dracoria.
Accurate.
You can roll wind if you want. It's 2 dice.
Okay. I got a 6.
Ooh! You do know of him. Probably because he's not so much a politician as, in fact, a pirate. He was... a 6 is excellent to get some information that is actually quite precise. He used to serve under the Admirat of Emsica, who was the legendary pirate queen of Dracoria. Condottier, but with a navy instead of foot soldiers. When she died, he basically filled the void. He was one of her lieutenants, and he stepped up. And apparently he is a person to be reckoned with now. You don't know exactly if he is as powerful as she was, but here you are, and there's 4 pirate ships around you. It's going to be quite a contingent of troops.
Quite a contingent would be approximately...
Well, if you could ship 80 soldiers on a carack, and there's 4 of their caracks and 1 of yours, you could theoretically be outnumbered about 2 to 1.
Okay.
And that's not counting any possible sort of heavy weapons they might have aboard the ships.
Right.
Pirates might very well have ballistas or small catapults and the like.
Yeah, they'd have large caliber. They'd have ballista. They'd have ballista with harpoon tips so that they could drag ships closer and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like... Oh, the Commodore only wants a quarter.
Yes,
Well,
only a quarter.
I'm feeling generous. You can have 100% of what you've taken.
She's kind of looking down at her boots and smiling. Well, in normal circumstances, Rauri, I would say that is fair. But I do have my orders. If you have to, you could call this a tax. He is the lord of these lands nowadays. If not in name, then in practice.
By de facto.
Yes. It's gonna get bloody if he doesn't get what he wants.
Now, we have a lot. This is Logan thinking out loud.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have an incredible amount of stuff. From a financial point of view, this has been a most fruitful expedition.
And we did take those magic items.
Mm-hmm.
How known is the Commodore for being tempted by magic items?
That much you don't know.
Okay. Let me see what magic items I got. Oh, I thought I wrote it down. Did I not write it down? I wrote it down. I did write it down. Kind of. I wrote down one thing. What the hell?
Well, I doubt you're carrying the mirrors.
Oh, we didn't take those. we took the hand mirror,
Yep.
and we took the books. Like, not the whole library, but...
Not the whole library. Tindri will be so disappointed.
It's like... Actually, you know what? We might have.
There's enough people.
Yeah, because that was before we were burning the tower. That was when I'm just like, sack it, take everything.
Yeah, no, you might have well taken the library. Even if
do you want to call it an evens odds whether the mercenaries or the wolfen would have thought to grab the books?
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna roll 1d2. If it is even,
yeah,
then we thought to take the library, other than, like, obviously the book on illusionist magic.
Mm-hmm.
If it's odd, none of us thought the books were going to be worth anything, and it went up in smoke.
It's even!
So we basically got a wagon full of books.
Yes, a wagon full of books.
Because probably one of us thought, well, I'm in the Inquisition.
Yes.
So
you've been around.
I saw that one magic book, and I'm just like, there might be more here. They might be worth something. They might be valuable. It's like, they're no value to us, but they're value to the Furless. So
yeah, and you're around people who are with nose deep in their books all the time. So
yeah. So gather them all up, load them in a wagon. We'll take them.
Yeah, the Inquisition can use them, I'm sure. I mean, that's probably the rationale at this point.
Yeah. Now, this is Vespini or Volpini 2 blades, yes?
Yes.
2 sabers or something?
Yes, 2 sabers, indeed.
Volpini 2 sabers. And she is strong-arming me for a quarter of our take.
Yep.
I've already basically earmarked a quarter of it for the mercenaries.
Yep, that would leave half for you and Aoya.
Yeah.
Which is still a lot.
It's still a lot. I'm fine with that. I don't want to fight Volpini. I like her.
Yeah, it's more the pride of the thing, though. I mean, if you can look at it from Aoya's point of view, or from a hurt pride type of rivalry point of view, you fought for that loot, and they came in here and now they just want a piece of it without having worked for it, which doesn't seem terribly honorable at all. But then again, their taxes...
Fucking accurate. Because I'm thinking from Logan's point of view. Logan's just like, that's fine, I still got a lot of stuff. Because Rowery's point of view is... it's like, well, Volpini. Nothing comes without earning it. And the Commodore hasn't earned this. We did, with blood and steel. I propose this. You and I will fight. Not necessarily to the death, but whoever comes on top will keep that quarter.
She's sighing deeply. Rowery, I'm not sure I can do that. I would if it was just me and my command. But it's not just me and my command, is it? I have to follow my orders. And my orders are clear.
Your orders are indeed clear. But I figured you would assume that you could beat me handily. Is that fear I detect?
No. It's, being bound by duty.
Yes, and your duty is to earn things. Would it make you feel better if I didn't use a sword?
I like this bartering. Let's have a roll here. I'm trying to establish Volpini's stats, and I want you to help me with that.
Okay.
You should be able to see it. I'm gonna put in your. If you go into your journal, you should be able to see Volpini 2 sabers. I'm using the same as for the pirate for the pictures.
Okay.
And I'm thinking she's a good commander, so she's gonna have a high water. That's 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm thinking her fire and stone is gonna be average, and her dump stat will be wind, meaning she's not the sharpest person on the the most well-educated person, perhaps.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna make this a social conflict to convince her to do a duel with you.
Okay.
She has water 3, which is a lot. But you have only water 1, but you do have your reputation, which you can add here. So you actually do have 4 dice. And she will have 3. Because she knows you, and she knows what you've done before. So that's entirely valid for this.
Excellent.
Who is the attack? You're the initiator, so you're the attacker. That gives you an advantage.
Alright.
Of course, you don't have any...
one thing I'd like to add is, it's like, either way you're going to get a quarter, because either you're going to have to fight us for it. Like, if you're going to follow your orders, you're going to have to fight us for it. But what I'm proposing is you fight me. That way, none of our men have to fight.
Well, roll and see what happens. 4 dice. Oh, Lord. I think you're going to succeed with this one. I can't add any of her fate dice because she's not doing command stuff now. You are not one of her subordinates. If you were, I could have added a couple of dice for her. But you're not. Really dice. Look at that.
I'm really, really good at what I do, apparently. I gotta get all my good rolls out right off the bat, so that...
Yep. You give her 3 points of doubt, which is not quite enough to break her, but almost.
Yeah.
And she's not interested in continuing, because next time you have 3 extra dice, because she's already wavering. So she will agree.
Perfect.
Well, Rari, I hope I don't have to pay dearly for this.
No worries. I won't kill you.
Very well. Let us prepare a ring, and it's. You will imagine how this is looking. It's like a almost a Viking duel.
Holmgang.
Yes. A holmgang. Where the combatants on each side are just sort of forming a circle for the 2 of you to fight in. She will use her 2 sabers, unless you're going to go hand to hand. So that will give you a distinct advantage. On the other hand, it's not like you won't be at an advantage otherwise. Because you still have 3 fire and she only has the 2.
Yeah. Why would I have an advantage in hand-to-hand?
Yeah, because
I have an advantage in hand-to-hand combat, but if she's using 2 swords, it doesn't matter that I have claws.
No, that's true. But are you using your swords at all?
I will use my hand axe and my nabicos.
Okay. Yeah, she'll use her 2 sabers. Which are very fine blades. Indeed. Not necessarily magical, but very fine blades. As such, I don't think either of you is going to get an equipment bonus for having, because you have exactly the same type of swords, so it cancels each other out. But you can still use fate dice for your skill.
Yeah.
And you do have a few of those now.
Mm-hmm. Because I have the 2 weapons, so...
Yep. And that gives you an extra die also because you have 2 weapons. So you have 4 dice plus possibly 2 fate dice if you want to use them. And she will have her...
I'm not using the powerful sword.
No, but I'm saying you get 1 extra die for using 2 swords.
Yeah.
So that's 4 dice. Because you're using... She'll also have an extra die for using 2 swords. So she'll have 3 dice for that. And then you can add 2 points of your skill. So you might end up with 6 dice to her... 4. No, 5.
Yeah, I assume she also has the swordplay skill.
Yeah. You'll have 1 die more than her.
Because I'm bigger and stronger.
Yes.
I have a longer reach. Too bad steel doesn't count as iron.
It doesn't.
Otherwise, that just... Don't got swords!
Well, it's... I'm gonna have a look at how that's formulated in the book. Because it's entirely possible that it cuts through all iron-based armor.
Because, I mean, they do say that it...
I think it ignores all... I think it ignores all iron-based armor.
Yeah, because it's for, like, the heavy armor and whatnot.
Yeah.
So
now,
it would cut through her swords.
Yes.
Yay!
So if you want to use a stunt to destroy her swords, you can do that. Right, so who initiates this? Who is... Because you're standing and staring at each other. Just gonna start with the duel. Everybody's watching you.
Well, I challenged her to a duel, and she accepted. Then we had the ring going, and I figured my best shot is to try and disarm her as fast as possible. Because she also has a reputation.
Yes, she does.
Her soldier name is 2 swords. 2 sabers.
Yep.
Just like I don't know what her actual last name is. She might not have one because she's born poor. But I know she's got a soldier name and she's in command. So she's earned the name 2 sabers. Therefore, she's probably good with those sabers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna break them.
No. Well, everybody's watching. It's dark. There are lanterns mounted around the circle to help both of you see what's going on. I think I'm going to remove 1 die for each of you because of that, because of light conditions. And your respective sides are going to start psyching each other up, right?
Yeah.
Pirates will be banging sabers against shields. The Wolven will be howling. There is tension in the air, and the rain is still coming down heavily, making the ground under you slippery.
Oh. So how do stunts work?
It's the 6s that you roll. You can use them.
Right.
You can use them to, instead of doing extra damage. That's one way you could do it. But instead of doing extra damage, you can disarm her or whatever.
Okay, so got my 4 dice -1, and then I'm gonna spend a fate die to add it back using my skill. Except I'd have to add, I'd have to use 2 to get my, because I have 2 levels in swordplay, so I have to spend 2 fate dice?
You don't have to. That's how many you are allowed to spend.
Okay.
Maximum.
Right. Well, right now I'm at 4 dice. I feel like that'll probably do me.
We'll soon see. She will put in... She has 3... -1 for bad conditions. And I can add 1 die from a fate die from my little pool of 3. That gives me 3 dice. Oh dear.
I broke both of them!
Unless I roll really good now.
Unless you roll really good now.
Which I don't.
You rolled decent.
Yes, I did roll decent. It wasn't a bad roll. It just wasn't enough against you.
So here.
Who's the attacker on this? You're the attacker, I guess.
So here's how I'm sort of narrating this scene.
Yes.
4 dice versus 3 dice. Here's how I'm thinking of narrating this scene. I do a probing, like, overhand slash with my hand axe.
Yep.
Like in sort of a downwards diagonal. And she kind of lunges in with one of her sabers. Or no, like I leave myself kind of wide open with Nabokos in my right hand, sort of off to the side.
Yep.
And she takes the bait because it's dark, and she's like, "Oh Jesus!" and lunges forward with both. And then I kind of scoop them with the beard of my axe, really quickly, because that's my main advantage I have over her. Like, that's basically what I'm thinking that 1 dice is because I'm 6'8". I have way more reach, so her lunge takes her a little more off balance than mine.
Yeah.
So I swipe with my left hand, catching the blades in the beard of the axe. I managed to scoop them both, luckily.
Nice.
And then I swipe with Nabokos and basically just cut the blades off.
Oh, between the axe and Nabokos.
Yeah.
That's a pretty... And I think it's so anticlimactic for the people who are watching. They're expecting this duel that will go on for like an hour between 2 amazing combatants. And what they get instead is just... You done?
Just like after I do that, I'll sheath Nabokos.
Wait! Before you've just done it, everybody's eyes are on you. When the next thing happens.
Okay.
You will have to roll fire.
Plus anything?
No.
I got a 6.
And I got 2 6s, so I win.
Okay.
All right. You're hit in the neck. Something just hurts immensely. And you are, in fact, broken by hit points. And
so damage?
Yep.
Okay.
Holy shit. I rolled 2 6s, didn't I? You need to roll a death roll. And you need 3 successes.
What's that? Is that stone?
I believe it is.
And I need how many successes?
3.
And I can use fate dice for this, yeah?
Every single fate die you have. No cap.
Okay, so that's 2 fate dice. 4d6. 2 6s and a 4.
Wow! How many scrape buys have you done?
In this system, just that one.
No. I mean, last session,
Oh yeah.
you survived 2 rolls, two rolls by the skin of your teeth to not become a rejoicer, which is a character ender.
Yeah.
And now, this. Man, I was sure 5 seconds ago, I was like, Rowery's dead.
I mean, honestly, I was gonna get a reroll anyway.
Dear Lord in heaven. How do I describe this? You are broken by the damage.
Yeah.
Falling down, falling over. There is, in fact...
what hit me? Was it
what
an
hit
arrow
you?
or a dart?
It turns out, I think this would be the sort of the last thing that Rowery sees before fading out. Someone from the audience. You don't know if it was a pirate or if he's wearing some purple, a purpurian.
Yeah.
Someone stepped in with a dagger and just shanked him, basically. Shivved him. What do you say? Is it a shiv? Is it shank?
Either way, they're both appropriate.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think shiv would be appropriate because shiv is an improvised knife.
Yeah, no, this is
Like,
not an improvised die. Improvised
So
thing.
I think shank is more appropriate.
Yeah.
But they stuck me in the neck.
Yep.
And I go down and I survive, but I feel like bedlam is happening now.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Because
I mean,
whoever did that, the mercenaries are going to eat him.
or
I
the
don't know if
wolves. I mean, in the confusion, it could be the wolves thinking it's a mercenary who's... Yeah, oh, the mercenary wolves, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. No,
Like-
this means all-out war between pirates and wolves.
Oh my god.
Pretty much.
Absolutely.
Like, they're probably... These are the dogs of war. I didn't bring the Wolferwood Wolven over here. These are the dogs of war. So, whether it is the Purpurians or basically every furless on this island is in danger.
Yep. The thing also contained poison.
Okay, so you want me to roll against that? Or are my
Yep.
sixes good enough to survive that?
This
Because
one...
I rolled 2 of them.
This is true. Yes, you did roll 2 of them. I want you to see if you take full effect or limited effect.
Okay.
And that's going to be... I'm going to say 2 successes you would need to avoid the full effect.
Okay, and that's going to be stone again?
Yep. That's 1.
I only got 1 success.
Okay. That means that you will need medical attention, which is going to be interesting to get in this all-out melee.
Of course I'm going to need medical attention. I got stabbed in the neck regardless of poison. Yep.
But you can also avoid taking that damage by taking a consequence.
What would be an appropriate consequence, though?
A temporary consequence will lower the damage that you took from the poison by 1, and a permanent one will save you 2 points of damage.
I'm just trying to think of what even an appropriate consequence would be.
Yeah.
Like, thematically.
Also, you can re-roll the thing. You do have 2 re-rolls left.
Yeah. Neither one of them fits with poison. The knife attack would definitely fit with...
That one you succeeded.
That one I blew out of the water. The poison damage. What happens if I just take the damage?
That means that you're going to have to make a new death roll. And the death roll is going to be 1 plus every step over broken. You're already broken because of... So it's automatic 3 damage to you because of the knife attack.
Yeah.
And so each extra point you take from the poison adds a success you need on the death roll.
Okay. And how much damage is the poison doing?
It's doing 1 point per turn.
Instead of 2 points per turn because I got a half success.
I think that's... No, it's all or nothing, right? So if you succeed...
Well, you said I was rolling to see if I took the full effects or half.
Yeah, and I said that you needed 2 successes to not take the full effect.
Oh, okay.
So with 2 successes, you would only take 1 damage total. Now it's 1 per turn.
All right.
I actually think that Volpini will try to save you myself, but because she will see this as a cowardly attack. In fact, it's possible that she might calm the whole situation down.
I hope so.
If anyone could do
it,
it would be her. I don't want her
to die. That's why I was just gonna break her swords and what I was. Here's what I was going to do. Here's the alternate universe. I didn't get stabbed in the neck. I was going to put away my weapons or even toss them aside.
Yeah.
And then say that the duel could continue, but now we're hand to
hand. I'm gonna roll 3d6 for her water because I don't have any fate dice left for my NPCs.
It's I will take the temporary consequence that the poison coursing from the neck down has paralyzed my left arm temporarily until I get healed.
Say again?
The poison is working in my system, right? But it's working its way
unevenly
down and out.
Yeah.
Because it went in my neck, so now my left arm is sort of paralyzed, it's kind of unusable.
Yep, that sounds good to me.
Until I get healed.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Which means that you only need the 1 die to survive. The 1 success to survive. I'm going to roll her... She has 2 successes on screaming a command to everyone.
Okay.
Would that be enough to calm stuff down? I'm not sure. It's a partial success.
You have a bunch of fate dice that you got for me because now I'm out.
No, but that's in the chalice. It doesn't go to my NPCs.
Okay.
Let's see now. I'm gonna have to look here at the command skill, which is over here. Here we go. Okay, so it says like this. You must show that you are serious, otherwise your soldiers will refuse to obey your order. If they obey the order, their doubt is up one step. She doesn't want slaughter on the island. The tricky bit here is what is the war leader of the war, the Dogs of War, going to do when you fall down?
It depends on if anybody saw who specifically did it.
Yeah, that's the tricky bit, right? So what we can do here is Logan is right now playing the war leader of the Dogs of War.
Yeah.
I'll play Volpini and the assassin, and we'll see what the scene does, because we need to figure out for how long Rowery is going to be lying down without medical attention. That's pretty important at this stage. So the assassin has done the thing. It's clearly the Dogs of War are very active tonight.
Let's see. Havoc.
Yes, exactly. Thinking about what kind of stats a Wolven warrior might have.
It's funny because their banner is basically an angry wolf face.
Yep. 3113.
Within the the sort of / Wolven script, like the Ogham that we discussed when we were first starting.
Yep.
It says "Cry Havoc," but in Ogham.
I'm guessing Aro would have a high water score as well, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
He
would have to if he's the alpha of a large group of wolf.
Exactly. So what is he doing? What is he doing when he sees Rowery go down? Just attack all the pirates?
Well, he will basically cry treachery, but he's definitely going to look, because everybody's watching intensely. Like, I feel like all the other ones are sort of like, getting.
Well, there's stunned silence, basically. I mean, it's not like
Aro,
the mercenaries are
in the duel. What I'm saying is, in the duel, everyone is cheering and everyone's sort of like watching, but maybe not super intensely. They're just sort of watching the combat. But I feel like Aro would be standing there like just glaring because Rowery's basically quote unquote gambling, because I pretty much knew I was going to win because I'm prideful.
Yep.
Rowery is gambling with some of their take.
Yes, he is.
So he's just standing there watching intensely, and mostly he's watching Rowery to make sure Rowery doesn't fuck up. So when someone comes out and breaks the crowd and stabs him in the neck, I feel like he's going to be watching. I feel like he would have saw that.
He would, and he would also notice that the rest of the pirates are as surprised as everyone else.
Like, that's one thing. He would see that happen, and there would be like the momentary lull, and he would do the quick, like, because he's a leader. So he would look around and he would see everyone looks exactly as shocked as he feels.
Yep.
And so I feel like he would intrinsically know that, and he would smell it. Because, like, hormones.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, the different hormones and pheromones that come from emotion can be smelled. Like, that's why it's like, oh, well, animals can smell fear. Like, they literally can, because you give off your fear hormones and stuff, and they can smell that. So he would smell that. He would smell that everyone is basically telling the truth.
Yep.
And he saw the one who did it. So I feel like he would try to calm things down and find the culprit.
Let's roll a 3d6 for his water. See if he manages to control the crowd. I rolled for Volpini. She's trying to control her end.
Does Aro have any fate dice?
Nope.
Okay.
If we make him... Yeah, that works. He even has a 6. So, yep.
Basically what I'm seeing him is he's not trying to quell the frenzy.
Yep.
He's trying to redirect the frenzy to the appropriate target.
Let's see if the appropriate target manages to get the hell out of Dodge in the confusion. Again, I don't have any fate dice left. Nope! Yeah, they'll be able to apprehend the person who is a... even for man, odd for woman. No, the other way around. So it's a woman, and she's quickly apprehended. And that at least saves Rowery's life, because that means that he will get medical attention immediately.
Good.
And they can then distribute antidote quickly, so that he can survive the poison. He'll still be paralyzed in his left arm when he wakes up, because they haven't treated that yet.
Yeah. Basically, the antidote for poison will work over time. Basically, I figure after a rest.
Yeah.
It will be left as after the antidote. So.
But, I mean, everybody saw you win over Volpini. And that puts the next problem here. So I'm going to fast forward a bit. Rowery's going to wake up the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what kind of weather we have the next day.
So how much got healed from that?
So far nothing. You've been saved. Your life has been saved. That's what's happened.
Yeah.
That's how close a brush this was.
Yeah.
Because, damn, that was close. That was the closest we've had so far with Rowery. On the other hand, I think that most of the characters now have had a death roll at least.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, I think that's all. Goblin, I think, rolled...
I've had a death roll before when the assassin hit me with poison the first time.
Yes, that's true. So this is second death roll you have. Damn close calls.
But I'm unkillable, just like he said.
Of course. Yes, clearly. That's how it is.
My characters are all invincible. It is canon. 3d6 for weather. I'll roll it for you.
Yep.
5, 4, 5.
Okay, let's have a look again. What climate zone we're in? We are in number 3. So 5 for 5, you say?
Mm-hmm.
So it's warmer than usual for this time of year, which is plus 5-ish. 4 means a breeze and cloudy. So it's pretty nice weather.
Yeah.
And
I definitely get that fate die for my pride, yeah?
yes. At this stage. I'll give you that back.
You could almost argue that it was protect my pack too, since I fought a duel instead of just putting all my band in danger.
Okay, have another one.
Yeah.
Milk 'em.
Like, if it can be argued, I'm going to. Fate dice are a premium.
They are indeed. It is the fate die economy. This. You're gonna wake up sometime in the morning. The ground is really wet still from all the rain. You can feel in your nostrils the heavy scent of burning. The island has been just engulfed in flames and smoke from fires over the past day. I'm not even sure that the fire in the Citadel has gone out yet.
No one's putting it out, so no.
Exactly.
It rained overnight, but that's a big tower. That's a big fire. I don't think it's out.
The fire in the village is probably out by now because it was only a single barracks and everybody was working really hard to make it sure that the rest of the village didn't catch fire.
Yeah, it's one thing to lose the soldiers, but there's no point in killing the populace.
Exactly. And certainly the populace was working hard for that. The Wolven have set up some form of camp around the village, suddenly increasing the village's size by about a factor of 5.
Pretty much,
but the pirate ships are still out there.
Are the little dots woods?
Yeah, they probably are.
Cool. Because I think...
Let's have a look.
Maybe.
No, yes, it is. It is woods. And it's woods with very heavy undergrowth. So the trees aren't particularly tall. But for a Wolven to go in there, you freaking disappear.
Yeah. So... I feel like... Maybe. Just maybe... I have increased the Wolven territory in the world.
That an argument could be made for that. I'm not sure the villagers are gonna, dispute that claim at all. The Commodore might, but the ships are still out there.
The Commodore can send his troops into the woods and see what happens.
I suppose he could. The pirate ships are still out there. And you certainly haven't left. No one has made any attempt at leaving the harbor. So this island is currently blockaded by pirates. And Aoya will say that they are maintaining their demand for a quarter of the loot.
Yeah.
Even though Volpini was defeated. She would... I'm not sure how she would be able to keep being a leader for the task force at this stage, even though she would want to be.
Here's my thought. I will arrange for Volpini to come where I'm recuperating, and we'll talk in private.
Yeah.
And I'll basically say, because at this point my pride has been, I won the duel, but also Volpini saved my life. So it's perfectly acceptable to my pride to reward her for saving my life. At the same time, I feel like if I give her a quarter of the total treasure,
yeah,
some stuff is more valuable than other.
Yeah.
So if I give her a quarter by volume, that's not necessarily a quarter by value.
That's true. Who's gonna count the value? The pirates have no idea of how much stuff you looted from that place.
Exactly. So what I'm suggesting to Volpini is, it's we'll give you a quarter of the take in recompense for saving me and helping prevent bloodshed amongst our peoples. And part of that is going to come out of my take. I'm going to give her I'm going to give her one of my dice of lump sum.
Right. Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. So Because I ended up getting 3 dice of lump sum just for myself.
I know.
So all like the nice cutlery and stuff and whatnot, like she can, well, like after she leaves, I'll explain that to Aro and Alia that like we can give them the big stuff, not the expensive stuff, because they don't know what we took. So then everybody gets to massage their pride, and everyone's happy.
I'm gonna let this work because Volpini doesn't want to see bloodshed. She's not happy about the orders to begin with. And she might understand that you are, let's say, fudging statistics. Mm-hmm. Fudging the math a bit.
But that's why the 1 die of lump sum was... Like, it wasn't part of the quarter.
No, she can interpret it that way if she wants to. So it gives her reasonable enough reason to say we have claimed the taxes that we've been sent to claim, mm-hmm. without the Commodore going, "You're lying through your teeth."
Yeah.
And
I'm sure just by practicality, Alia and Aro will be like, well, I guess that's less for us to have to carry, because if you keep it the valuable stuff.
Yeah, and if you give by volume, you can give some of that library too. I bet there has to be some of the books in there, because you raided a wizard's arch tower, an arch wizard's tower.
There would have to be some. And I don't really know enough about them to cherry pick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Pick a fair number.
you could give them the cabinet with the false crown in it.
Yeah.
Though that might have side effects in other ways. I think you left it too, didn't you?
Yeah, we left the crown because it was trapped.
Yeah.
I think we left that kid down there too. Well, he's dead.
I'm not sure you did. You took him out of the prison cell.
We took him out of the prison cell, but then I made him test the magic items to see if they were trapped, and one of them was trapped.
Oh yes, and he fainted because it was trapped. And then you didn't check. Oh god damn it!
Stay. Do we want to do evens odds to see if someone decided to keep a prisoner?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oh, I gotta click the thing. Okay, /R 1d2. Okay, so evens. Somebody grabbed him, probably one of the dishonored, because like this is our prisoner. Fuck it.
Yep.
And odds, we left him behind because no one thought to grab him.
Yep. Oh,
okay,
there you go.
Alive.
You could even include him in the taxation demands.
Ben Slave.
He is highly valued in the right circles. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, I'll include him because we have no use for slaves.
She will gladly accept this, and she's very happy to see that you're on the mend. You got, if you recall, some healing potions from the defaults that you can use.
Ooh, I did too!
Yes.
I got 2 healing 3s.
Yep. And I can tell you that if you use them, at least one of them, because it's probably the best medicine you have on the island. I don't think there is anything better on the island. Let's see now, where does it go? There we go. Right, so, yeah, you will heal immediately. One will heal the temporary and one will heal the wounds. Or you can do a scene where you're recuperating to heal the actual wounds.
I might as well use the potions. You end up keeping them forever, and
yeah.
so I'm not. You don't live as long as I do as a wolven in my profession by saving things for later. I'm not a really so it's like, oh wait, I'm fucked up and my left arm doesn't work. Oh yeah, those potions. Chug, chug. So now my left arm works again and I'm fully healed.
Yeah. And you have 2 fear poisons.
Those have been applied to arrow, so they're in my quiver.
Yep. But that means that the tension with the pirates has been resolved, and they will return to Vumbra with their part of the loot.
Yeah.
And you can return together with the Wolven to the Wolferwood and hold a large celebration of mourning in memory of Rauga, the White Wolf.
I'll also broach the subject with Auya about maintaining villages on this island. We've realized it's pretty much undefended and it's wood.
She's against that idea. It's not part of the Wolferwood. The Tricorians will just make a mess.
That's fair.
The Drakarians are not known for handing over territory without a fight.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you'll be returning to the Wolferwood for a great feast.
Yeah.
And after that, you have to decide where to go now.
Well, I'm actually gonna put in my temporary goal. I need a fucking pencil, sir. Pencil's eraser. But temporary goal. My temporary goal for this session was deal with the pirates.
Yep.
So that's gonna be a fate die. But my temporary goal for after the pirates is, I guess, go and report my findings to the Inquisition.
Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable goal.
Because, what I want to do is I want to go and find those wizards and pay them back for what they did.
Yeah, that's likely going to take a little while. Going back to Vumbra will only take a couple of days for you. So, provided that the weather holds. So that would bring you up to the, let's see now, the 20... You would leave the 28th, so you'd be there in the 30th, just about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole story about dealing with those sorcerers, that's the next step. But let's just get you back to Vumbra first.
Mm-hmm.
And let's roll some weather. Obviously you're going to hold a large celebration, basically a funeral feast. In the Wolferwood. There will be lots of howling, there will be lots of gnashing of teeth, there will be lots of genuine concern. Because now the tribe stands without its shaman, the elder among the shamans. Your grand shaman who was the wisdom of the pack.
Yeah.
And that leaves a hole that is not easy to fill.
No.
So it's going to be a very, very somber note that evening when you get back to the woods and get back to the glen, Auya's glen, to hold this funeral. And you don't even have a body to say goodbye to properly.
No. It's been torched.
Everyone is deeply demoralized. I'll also say that the Dishonored Wolven, somewhere in the middle of all this, when you're taking the ship and you're going back to... Because you're taking the merchant's ship. And going back to your shore. And everybody's disembarking. And in the middle of all that, they just leave. They're not there anymore.
Well, I mean, since they did so well, maybe they were allowed to come back.
Possible.
That'd be up to Aoya.
Yes, it would be. Do you want to make weather rolls?
Sure.
What do we get? 2. It's going to be below freezing. There is not going to be any wind at all. But the rain is going to be pouring down like crazy. Which is going to add a traveling day for you.
Yeah.
So it's going to take 3 days, I suppose, to get there. In the heavy rain. You're traveling alone now, aren't you?
Well, I assume the Dogs of War came with.
Right. Yes, they're going to march to Vumbra as well.
They were stationed at Vumbra.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I hired them there.
Yeah.
Unless they want to stay in the Wolferwood for a bit, because that is home.
No, they're going to go... They've done their job, right?
Okay.
And I mean, sure, they could consider leave, but they were only hired for so many days, so...
Yeah, and they got bonus treasure in the results.
Yep. So, no, they're going to be heading back as well. Which means that you and Aro are accompanying each other.
Mm-hmm.
That night when you are camping, I'm guessing, how are you camping? You simple tents or shelters or just some kind of... Because you're not sitting out in the rain.
No, it'll be like quick fab shelters, like tents and stuff, because we're forest dwellers. We know how to camp in the rain.
I'm gonna have a look at something here.
Like a mercenary band is going to have a bunch of stuff to set up in camp in.
Yeah. There we go.
That was a really anticlimactic invasion.
Yes, wasn't it?
But at least I'm rich now.
Yes, you are.
And I had a really good fight with Volpini. I was not expecting to trounce her so totally. I was like, wait a minute, I have a sword that cuts metal. Her blades are metal.
Yep.
Ching!
Yeah, let's see what weather we have the next day. You rolling? Or am I?
Oh.
You're welcome to.
I'll do it.
1, 2, 4?
Got really cold.
Yep. No, now you're dipping well below zero. I'm not going to say well below zero. It's not going to be minus 30, of course, but it's going to be minus 5, which is unseasonably cold. It's gonna be windy, quite windy indeed, but fog instead of rain.
Okay. Visibility's poor, but we're moving faster at least.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you still have to know which direction you're moving, which is the job of the scouts, and that slows you down again a little bit. I'm gonna add half a day at most. Doesn't seem like it would add much more, but we'll see if the next roll adds any more time to that.
Okay. 3, 6.
There we go. 5, 4, 4. Warmer now. More at +6 or 7.
Okay.
Breeze and more fog. Okay, so you would have arrived the 30th. I'm gonna make it the 31st because you're moving with a big troop, right? And you have to make sure that the troop doesn't get separated in the fog.
Yeah.
And that always takes extra time.
Well, how are they going to get separated? We're all on the same boat.
Oh, you're taking the ship back.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were walking. I don't know why I got that idea. Yeah, in that case you're.
Walk back to Vombra.
In that case, you're back the very on that first day, the 29th. Yes, of course.
I should have picked up on it because they're just like, "Are you guys sleeping in tents?" And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I mean, we would sleep on tents and like when we stopped it, but like we're on a boat. Why would we have need tents?
Yeah, no, you're gonna find your way back to Vumbra by the 29th because it's much faster by ship.
I have too much treasure to walk with.
Yeah, so you take that merchant ship and you go back to Vumbra.
It's like when we get back to Vumbra, I can hire. Well, I mean, I will pay this merchant for his time with some of the treasure, basically.
Yeah.
Because I'd be a total dick to him. Right now, because I'm trying to get back to Vumbra was where I. Where did I start?
Vumbra is where you did the cleansing of the Shagolites.
Trakilva is where I'm trying to get back to.
Yeah, that's where you went. Yes, and that's the on the Paratorna, the next island.
Yeah.
Technically, you could just continue with this ship.
That's what I was thinking, but I'm going to ask Aro, well, you guys were stationed in, do you want to go to Trakilva? Because it's bigger and you're probably going to find more.
What's there for us? I don't know. Where this has been... the reason we are here, he will say, is that there was so much unrest. Well, there isn't anymore, but 6 months ago there was unrest, and a little bit more than 6 months ago. We've been actually looking for new rebellions to happen, but they haven't.
Well, Paratorna has the Riga.
The what?
The Riga. The Ring. What is that? What are the rebels? The Rungi?
No, that's Trinsmira, the Rungli, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought there was rebellions going on in
no.
Paratorna.
No.
What fighting was there in Paratorna then?
None yet. Officially, except from aside from the usual political backstabbery, of course.
Because I definitely heard that there was rumors of like unrest in Paratorna.
Yes, but that was more like the usual political backstabbiness between noble houses. It wasn't rebellion against the crown.
Yeah.
The way Transmira, but most of the unrest right now is on Palamux, where some people are talking about, independence.
Well, they'd have to get to Palamut by way of Paratorna, right?
No, you can go straight to Palamux from here. Let me show you the map again, the Tracoria map. So show the players. There it is.
Right.
So
currently on Trinsmira.
Yeah.
That's where Vumbra is.
Exactly, the southeastern corner.
I'm going to Paratorna, so you can go to Palamut. Probably want to stop.
Yeah, you can do that. You can go to Albaruncia. So the easternmost tip of Palamux there.
Yeah.
That will be the capital of the Kishat, Albaruncia. And you could go there, and they could leave there, and then you could take the vessel and cross to Paratorna. That's for sure. And I mean, you spent a lot of time on Palamux in Fontasilor, if you will recall.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the Shamashi temple was. And that's where you fought against Edvil Husler. So that's certainly something you can do.
Where did I leave everybody else?
That was by Mount Runts. Or, well, by the Malossi Lake.
And that's on Paratorna.
Yes.
So I do need to get back to Paratorna.
Yep. Well, provided they're still there. Gobin and Ganfrid were going to the Shadow Swamp, which is north of that lake. So Lake Malossi is the big lake in the middle of Paratorna that you can see there on the map.
Mm-hmm.
The big one. Right north of that is the Shadow Swamp. So somewhere in there is a wizard that's going to help the lot of you. You wouldn't know where because you haven't been there. And Tindri was going to Safina and Tokma Forest, which is the easternmost tip of Safina, basically. So she's going to be somewhere there, but you wouldn't know where at this stage.
Okay.
And I wouldn't either, because we haven't played this far.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I tell
I know that
I was going to send a burger or something.
I know
Yes,
that
you're
my
gonna send
friends were
To the Kelver.
Yeah,
either
but-
going on Paratorna or Safina. So I definitely don't need to go to Palamux.
That's correct. Hold on a moment. Are you going to send a bird to Rowry?
I thought I said I was going to.
You didn't? No, you didn't tell me that.
No, but
But you.
before I left everyone.
Oh. Did she say that she was going to send a bird to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
That's what I thought.
Then you were going to get a bird, I think. Let's see now. I have to look here because it's quite a ways for a bird to fly. How long would it take a bird to fly that distance? Let me have a look at the map. I mean, a bird is a good deal faster than a ship. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much regardless of what bird you take, unless you're taking a hummingbird, and she's not doing that.
I
So,
recommend a seabird so I can stop.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
seagull. So the journey by a typical ship like the one you have, the Karak, would be 3 days from Siola to Vumbra, which means 6 days from Vumbra to Melthe, or just about the same to Teagold, so about a week down to Safina from Vumbra. And the bird is much faster, so how much faster do we say? 2 days, 3 days?
Let's call it 3 days.
Yeah, I think 3 days too. 2 days seem a bit too fast. Let's call it 3 days. So if you are sending a bird on the 25th, which is where we are at,
Yeah.
it will reach Rowry on the 28th,
Which he is at.
which he is at, or the 29th. So when you get to Vumbra, you will in fact have a bird with a message for you from Tindri.
Okay.
That actually works out pretty nicely.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, because then I'll just start along those islands.
And what does Tindri say in the message?
I found the green eye. I found the green eye. We are leaving for... Where are we going again?
You're going to the Red Eye
We're leaving for the red eye.
on Palamux.
Yeah, but I on Palamux.
You will have details on where you're going exactly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she'd tell me which city to meet her at.
Yeah, she could do that.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
Where would you want to meet
Okay,
her?
then.
We can iron out the details later on, but
Yeah. No,
I'm guessing that you're aiming for Maravelda.
I have no clue at this point. Sorry. But yeah, I'll give the details to Rory, and yeah, if he can meet me there, fine. I'm not going to wait.
Right.
Well, I'll meet her there. Because we're on a ship, and I can much more easily convince the dogs of war to come with me. Because it's like, oh, there's a bunch of unrest on Palamux. You'll make tons of money there.
Here's the thing, though.
And when I get to the merchant city, I can sell off most of the treasure and turn it into coin and make it easier to carry. So the only thing I have to worry about carrying, finding a wagon full, is the books.
Yeah, but that loses you another day, which is fine. I mean, you can do that.
Yeah.
It's just that she is traveling on a much faster ship than you are. So she will reach Maravelda. We haven't actually played this journey yet. I'm not sure exactly how fast it will be, depending on the weather. And if they're really unlucky, they will capsize and she will have to find herself ashore somewhere, and because weather can be bad.
Weather can be bad.
Particularly in that kind of ship, because it's a coastal ship.
Yeah, you don't want to cross open water. Mr. Shep.
She's gonna have to.
Yeah.
But going to Maravelda, that is in the southeast of Palamux. And that would take you, Rauri. You would leave at the earliest, because you're getting to Vumbra on the 29th.
Yes.
You would leave on the earliest the 30th. Right? Because you are doing all that merchanty stuff.
Yeah.
And preparing the voyage and so on and so forth. And going from Vumbra to Maravelda, that's going to take you a long while. Let's see now. It's 3 days to Ciola, which means that it would be, I'm going to say, about 5 days down to Sublok, and then another 4-ish to get to Maravelda. So that's 9 days to get to Maravelda, and that would put you there around the 8th of the next month. I'm gonna say here, and Tindri will get there a good deal earlier, because of course by the time you get the message, she has already been traveling for a number of days.
Yeah.
So she will be there. She will be wherever the Red Eye is by the time you're halfway to Maravelda. And after that, we'll see if you can hook up with messages and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Perfect.
What I'm going to do is when I get to the place, I'm going to send another bird. Because I don't feel that I have the time to wait for him.
Yeah.
Since the attack on the Green Eye.
Yeah, and that second bird is going to be much harder for you to send.
Yeah, because I don't know where it is.
No, well, that's one reason. But the other reason is that you're not going to be in Melialina's valley.
Oh.
Which gave you a serious boost on any magic you were doing there, because it's a very holy place and it's a very magical place.
Yeah.
And she can even help you out with a spell there.
But with the first bird, I also gave the directions to where the red eye is, so he can come to the red eye directly if he wants to.
Yeah, and you can all meet up there eventually.
Yeah.
Which can be cool, because that means that the entire group will meet over there, possibly. If the others are getting there as well.
Basically, I want to make one stop. Well, when I get to Palamux, I want to stop at... I assume that one of the cities in Palamux that I'll be stopping at will have, like, the local office of the Inquisition.
I'm going to have a look here. You have a local office of the Inquisition in Vumbra.
Because I want to drop off the books there.
Yeah, you can do that. That's not a problem at all.
It's like I was kind of hoping to have them on the on the island of Palamux, because then Tindri can come and look at them. But I guess I don't really need her to look at them. I have like the one book, the book on illusion magic to bring to her.
Yeah.
The rest of the books I'll just drop off at the Vumbra Inquisition office. I don't need to bring them. If they want to reward me for such an impressive stash, or if there's anything too dangerous there, then that's
the next question here, and that's one of the reasons that I am going to pause the game, because you are going to send your report to your superiors in the Inquisition, and that's the Vumbra office. That's the stronghold of the Inquisition in Tracoria right now, really. The strongest base. So you're sending your report to them, and then they are going to give you new orders, I'm sure. And then you can be off towards Palamux again. And then we'll see what happens, because that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
If
so the
everybody's
are going to join me on the way to Palamux.
Exactly.
That's where they're going to get job.
Well, if you can pay them.
Oh no.
I guess you can, because you have a fortune.
Definitely I can, but I figured if we're all going to Palamux anyway, they got a ship with me.
Yep.
So they might as well come with me. That's a good way to just convince them to come. Unless, of course, the Inquisition wants to hire them and keep them on retainer.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's
I'll present that option to them, considering my findings, what we ended up having to do, and what happened to the White Eye.
Yeah.
That'll all go in my report. That was a lot.
Yes, it was. You survived, barely.
Yeah, and I made more friends.
Yes, I suppose you did. Does that mean that does that mean that we have to add Aro as a permanent NPC?
It very well might mean